Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. And today's going to be a book video. We're going to be talking about Miss Allie Hazelwood. I want to love Allie Hazelwood. People are obsessed with her. They love her writing. And I just haven't had a very good experience with her books. I have read two of her books, Love Hypothesis and the one with the pink cover, and they just weren't very successful for me. But I love being part of hype. I love loving what other people love. And so I got 4 Allie Hazelwood books from my library. 4 of her most popular, her most recent, and the books that everybody loves. And I'm going to give them a shot. We're going to start with Love Theoretically, because when I hear from people who never really liked Allie Hazelwood's books prior to this one, they say like this got them in and like this is 5 stars and all of that kind of stuff. So we're going to start with the Love Hypothesis. Then we're going to try out her YA book. I'm less optimistic about this one than the other ones, but we're still going to give it a shot. Then we're going to go to her paranormal romance. I've heard nothing but exceptional things about this one. So we're going to give this a shot. And then lastly, we're going to read her very recent, like last month, I think, release. I have heard that this is, again, very different than her other books. So I'm making the prediction that like Bride and Not in Love are going to be my 2 favorites, but we're certainly going to see, because I want to love things by her. I want to have an author that I just adore reading from. I love to have a long list of authors that I love, and I love getting giddy about romances. It's my favorite thing in the world, and so I want to get giddy. So let's just get right into it with Love Theoretically.
I could sit around and wait all day. You lay easy on my mind, like a candle I just burn away.
So, I finished Love Theoretically. I flew through this. First and foremost, every author has shticks, has things that they love to write about that you'll find in every single book. Sarah J. Maas loves a tortured hero and loves to use M-dashes and vulgar gestures. Hana Yanagihara loves to exploit the trauma of gay men. And Allie Hazelwood loves a quirky Polly Pocket-sized woman pairing off with a overly large, ridiculously sized man. And that's just one of those things with her books that you have to accept. So I could complain about all of those things, how all of her books are repetitive, but it's not new complaints, and it's not something that you don't know going into an Allie Hazelwood book, specifically this era of her writing, the Love Hypothesis and all of those like women in STEM books. You can kind of just expect a certain level of like sameness in all of her books. That being said, this is slightly different, marginally different. Allie Hazelwood is so good at writing those swoony heroes who are head over heels in love with heroines. This one in particular, Jack, he is very open and honest about his feelings for the main character, Elsie, which is a departure from the other women in STEM novels that I know of or have read from Miss Hazelwood. This is essentially the romance between a woman, Elsie, who is currently an adjunct professor. She is a physicist, and she is trying to get a position as a researcher or something like that. And Jack is a well-known guy who is leading the department that she would be working in. He did something when he was like 18 that kind of made her hate him for her entire life, having to do with some articles and things that he wrote. But in the present, she is fake dating his brother, and she meets him through some family functions, and then she realizes that this guy is also part of her job getting process, and that he's this person that she's hated since she was 15 or 12 or whatever. She is under the impression, like all other Ali Hazelwood books, that he does not like her based off of a first meeting in which he was standoffish. Whatever. We find out that's not true. I read this super mega fast. I think I read it in 2 sittings. This got a 4-star from me. I really liked this. I think if you're taking this as an individual book and not looking at her other works included, that this is a good book. It's fun, it's fast. She writes mind-numbingly, scientifically intense romances, but makes it so accessible. Like, there are moments where the science mumbo-jumbo can get a little bit annoying, and I kind of just glaze over it, but the rest of it is like so just like this. Like, you just want to read it quickly, you want to devour it. The intimate scenes are giggle worthy, and the grand romantic declarations of love from the heroes are always so swoon worthy, and they make you want to kick your feet. And I think she just writes like good romances. If you are looking at them as individual books and maybe don't read all of the like women in STEM, I don't know what they're called, novels like all together. I don't know if they're technically all in the same series or if it just has like the same vibe, but yeah, I gave this 4 stars. I liked it. I don't think that it's intensely romantic. It follows the same formula of like not knowing a ton about the heroes, and it's good. It's good. So 4 stars for that. I am going to move on to Check and Mate. This is another Rivals to Lovers romance. It is YA this time, and it's about Mallory and Nolan, and it's about chess, as you can imagine. I've heard very mixed things about this, so this is the one that I'm like least sure that I'm gonna enjoy, but we're gonna give it a shot, and then we'll go on to the others that I'm like confident that I will like. If I can give a 5-star to an Ali Hazelwood book, it's probably going to be one of those if I had to guess. So we're going to get into this and see how I feel. I'll give you some updates when I have some thoughts. I completely forgot to mention that the main character of Love Theoretically is intensely relatable. She is like a people pleaser, and some of the things that she said in the way that the hero just like understood her and like read her like a book and just saw through all of her people pleasing bullshit and just like called her out on it, and just like called her out on her bullshit, but also said like, I want the real you. Ugh, love it. But also it was like one of those books or one of those characters where you like read yourself in them and you're like, this is a little too real, but very good.
All we really have is time. I don't wanna waste it on anybody. Take it with
I finished Check and Mate yesterday, again in like 2 sittings. Another short one, not unsurprising from Ali Hazelwood, but this is her like debut YA romance. It's about a girl who used to play chess when she was a child. Something happens with her family. She swears off of chess, and then during a chess charity tournament, she plays against the best chess player in the world and beats him, and it starts this like not really rivals to lovers, like chess tournament coming of age situation. This was fine. The hero wasn't really in it for the majority of the story. I wouldn't necessarily call this a romance. I would more call this like a coming of age situation with a romance. It's more about the heroine falling in love with chess again and coming to terms with what she wants to do with her life, and also like relationship dynamics and family dynamics and all of that. And there's just like a rivals, it's not really rivals, he doesn't dislike her in any way, to lovers situation. I think this is fine. I'm not like a huge contemporary YA reader. I occasionally read YA fantasy. I'm just not a YA contemporary person. I didn't think that I would love this, but I liked it okay. Like, it was readable. Yeah, I mean, it was cute. Wasn't really like a ton to do with romance, but I'm not also like a coming of age person. The chess was fun, so that was that. And now I'm gonna read Bride. Very different. Very different in every way. So I'm probably gonna read Bride today. This is a little bit longer than all of her other books. Well, not really. It's only like 20 pages more, but I'm going to start this today. Pretty excited. I'm hoping that this will be the 5-star, and this will be like my Allie Hazelwood favorite. So I know this is like a romance between a vampire and a werewolf. There's an arranged marriage, so I'm pretty excited for that. I'm probably going to read and try to finish that today. That is the one benefit I would say to like reading an Allie Hazelwood book, is they're super, super quick, and fast and accessible and easy to read. So I'm going to go into work, do some work, and then we're going to start Bride.
I don't wanna waste it on anybody. Take it
I just finished Bride. This is a paranormal romance between a vampire and a werewolf, and to have like a treaty between the two to keep them from fighting vampires and werewolves, they have this arranged marriage. There's also like this collateral system where the vampires give one of their children to the humans, and the humans give one of their children to the vampires, with the understanding that like if one dies, then the other dies. And Misery, who is the main character, was part of that program when she was a child as well. Current day, she has a best friend, Serena, who has gone missing, and she's trying to investigate what happened to her. She agrees to the marriage with the hero, Lo, because she finds a note in her friend's journal with his name on it. So they have an arranged marriage. She gets embroiled in the wolfy, werewolfy life, and there's stuff going on. I liked this. I liked this about as much as I liked Love Theoretically. This is fun. Like, when I finished it, I was debating between a 3 and a 4-star, because it isn't serious. It's not like really diving into the world. There's more of like, it's more of like a contemporary romance with paranormal elements in it. It's not deeply paranormal. Like, yes, all of the characters are paranormal creatures and stuff, but there isn't a ton of lore. There isn't a ton of world building. There's not a lot of like paranormal elements going into it. And so I was like, well, I don't really know if I feel like this is as fleshed out as I would have wanted, but I sort of looked at it through the lens of like a Allie Hazelwood book. And it's very much a Allie Hazelwood book, where it's like fun and fast and accessible, that sort of like template of an Allie Hazelwood book. I think it's a good intro for people that are new to paranormal romance, new to like Omegaverse and stuff like that, and are looking to get into it. I think it's a good intro. Reading this, I was like, yeah, I need to read more Omegaverse books, so I need to like prioritize some of the Omegaverse books that I have on my TBR, because I was in it and I wanted more, and that kind of reminded me of that. So I liked this. I think their romance was fun. I wasn't entirely sold on the romance. I wasn't entirely sold on the characters, and I think that's par for the course for my reading experience with Allie. I'm never like fully gripped by her characters. I'm never like fully in love with the romances, but they're good. Like, they're fun, they're good, they're quick, and they're just like all consuming. This is one of those books, and so is Love Theoretically, where I was reading it and I was like, don't talk to me. I don't want to stop and eat. I don't want to stop and do anything. Like, I just wanted to continue reading, and I think that's one of the biggest benefits for Allie books, and why I think they're so accessible to people that are new to romance, even though they are more on the smutty side than like other romances. They're just really consuming, really fun, and yeah, this was like a 4-star, and I'm not gonna like think about it. I'm just gonna let it be. It was a 4-star. I really liked it, and I would certainly read more from her in like a paranormal realm, and I'm excited to go on to the next book. So this is like, I'm not getting 5 stars, and I didn't fully think that I would. I hoped that I would, but I haven't gotten one, and I'm not like mad about it. 3 and 4 is good, and I think I'll continue to read her books as sort of like a when I get to it, and a low expectation, not gonna be like this deep Kennedy Ryan level romance, because that's just not the vibe. That's just not the thing that you're gonna get, but that's okay. Like, you don't have to have these really intense romances for them to be good. So I really liked this, and I'm excited. There was like a hint of a relationship that's gonna come, and I'm excited to read that one as well. So this was good. Not like my new favorite. Everybody was like obsessed with it. 5 stars all around for this. Not quite that level, but I can understand where people could love this and give this 5 stars. But yeah, so Omegaverse recommendations, give me some down below, because I definitely am like in the mood now to read some. I'm a huge paranormal romance lover. This read very much like a lot of the early 2000s paranormal romances that I kind of cut my teeth on. So yeah, really like this. But let's go on to the last book. Okay, so I am 150 pages into Not in Love, and I'm doing a midway update because I don't know if I'm gonna finish this. I'm not really liking this. This is weird. This is odd. This is like not what I've experienced with Allie Hazelwood. She has like a beginning portion where she says like this is very different than her other books, and I 100% agree. This is okay, so this is basically about Rue and Eli. Rue she's a biotech engineer at a company run by her best friend, and Eli is like from a corporate company. Him and his friends are trying to take over the company Klein. They had a like sexual encounter, like they were gonna meet to hook up. Something happened, they ended up not, and then they come into work and realize that, hey, we work together now, or whatever. And Eli is very, very into Rue and is very open about it, very much wants to have sex with her and have a relationship with her. Not so much like he's expressed a desire to have an actual relationship with her, but first and foremost, like, it's very sexually charged. Also is very into him, wants to have sex with him, but she is a little bit conflicted because of the situation with her best friend's company and all of that kind of stuff. They have had a hookup at this point. This feels like an attempt to write a literary fiction with a romance, and it's failing. The tone is bad. It's like trying to be serious, but the writing is not there. It's completely missing. It's completely flat, and I'm like really struggling to get through it. You guys saw with the other books that I read of hers where I sat down and I read it in 2 sittings because it was so quick and easy. This is not that at all, and I personally am a huge fan of very deep and emotional, sometimes dealing with trauma, those sorts of stories, especially in a romance. I love it. So that it's not that this is trying to be that and I have a problem with it trying to be that. I have a problem with it trying to be that and failing so hard. So this is like not working for me in any regard. I'm gonna try to finish it, but I am feeling the page length. It's the same amount of pages as Bride was, and I'm struggling. So we'll see. I'm gonna try, but I'm not optimistic that this is gonna end very well. Based on the things that I had heard, I kind of expected that this one would be my favorite, but also I was a little hesitant just because of the reviews from people that I similarly agree with in books, but we'll see. So, okay friends, I have finished Not in Love. My opinions of this have not changed. I rated this 2 stars. This is the worst Ali Hazelwood book that I have read. For the record, I did give her other pink book, Love on the Brain or something, 2 star. That one was more of like an almost 3 star. This was legitimately a 2 star. I did not like this for all of the reasons that I stated before. It didn't get better, and I'm not gonna harp on it. So let's talk about all the books that I read for this and kind of give them a little bit of a ranking. Bottom of the list would definitely be Not in Love. Least favorite. Check and Mate would come up next. I don't think this is a bad book by any means, but it's just not my jam. It was a 3 star. I would then say Love Theoretically. Again, not a bad book. I think if you're looking at this independent of other Ali Hazelwood Women in STEM books, this is a good one, but overall it's very similar to everything else, and I just never really believe her romantic relationships, and this one was no different, but it was a 4 star. And I like. And then lastly, another 4 star is Bride. I think this is a fantastic intro into Ali Hazelwood writing paranormal romance, and also a fantastic intro into anybody who has never read paranormal romance before. I had a ton of fun with this. Again, the romantic relationship wasn't the most believable for me, but I enjoyed this way more than all of the other books that I have read by her, especially for this video. So yeah, this is definitely top of my list, and if you are considering picking this up, if you're scared, if you're hesitant, take it as someone who's not the biggest Ali Hazelwood fan. This is worth it, but go in not expecting the most intense romance, the most fleshed out world building. Go in expecting to have a good time, and you'll enjoy this. So that's it. Those are the books that I read for Ali Hazelwood's redemption arc. Do I think that she was redeemed? Yes. I hope that she goes more down the road of Bride, and I don't dislike Love Theoretically. I hope she doesn't go down the route of Not in Love. I respect her going out of her niche, her comfort zone for Not in Love, but it just wasn't for me. So I do think she was redeemed. I do definitely have a better opinion of her, and she's an author that I will look out for in the future and kind of decide whether I want to check out her newest releases. I'm looking forward to what she puts out in the future. So she has been redeemed in my eye. Is that relevant to anybody, especially Ali Hazelwood? No, she doesn't need me to redeem her. She doesn't need me to give her good reviews. I'm just a girl on the internet that has a lot of feelings and opinions. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I would love if you subscribed if you want to watch more content like this. I post pop culture videos, book videos, regular vlogs, and I also do a little bit of gaming. So if any of those things sound interesting to you, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next one.
What was it they used to say?